Warning, the content we'll be reviewing today contains harsh, grown-up, graphic language. If you don't like that sort of thing, you've been warned. Also, if Julian Smith's mother happens to be watching, may I recommend Naturally Silky Soap. While I don't necessarily recommend using it in your mouth, it's gotta be better than some of the other soaps I've heard about people using lately. Topical. Just head over to naturallysilkysoap.com and use my promo code SGK to get a free gift, whether you make a one-time purchase or sign up for their awesome subscription boxes. It's Naturally Silky Soap. Let's get into the show.
Good night.
What's up? Julian Smith is back and he's better than ever. I just made a video recently about Julian Smith and I was talking about him and to him and at him. A lot of you agreed with what I had to say and a lot of you thought that I was kind of a jerk to him. I want to say right now, right here, right now, I'm going to take a stand and say I do not dislike Julian Smith. He makes great content, hilarious videos, I'm a big fan, and I don't dislike what he's trying to do here. He's done 2 live streams or so as of me recording this video where he just is kind of like talking to the camera and doing a live stream. Half the live stream is him just trying to figure out how live streams work, and that's a lot of fun, but I can't fault him for that because I'm pretty sure I've done the same thing a time or two. Comes with the territory. All right, so you're doing great, Julian Smith. But one thing that I did want to think about, to point out, to ponder upon with my viewers, his video that he put out like the day after or 2 days after his other video. Hold on, let me drink this water. That's good water. My criticism of Julian was not so much, like I didn't care that he cussed. Part of me was like, well, you've kind of built up an audience that expects you not to. And so for marketing purposes, I would say like, well, that seems like a bad move. That's all I care about. But he seems to care that you care that he cussed. To me, I think that that's a little bit demeaning to talk to your audience that way. So we're gonna check out that video today. Why you're vulgar if you swear and racist if you don't. All we need in this world is more people calling people racist. Best thing you can do in 2017. All right, here we go.
People are very concerned that I've sworn in my latest video.
Like, I think it's weird that he thinks that it's weird. Like, if I put out a video and people don't like it, to me, I'm just kind of like, well, that's how it is. People don't like certain things, they do like other things. You just gotta balance that. Like, you have to decide, am I gonna put out content that people like, or am I gonna put out content that other people like? Everything is liked by somebody. You just gotta decide which audience is bigger. That's all it is. It's just a freaking game.
You'd think from some of these comments that Jesus himself has sworn.
Come on, guys, I know how easy it would be to confuse me with Jesus, but seriously, come on.
I wonder if Jesus ever swore. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they shall be called dipshits. I personally think Jesus would have had no problem with obscenities because he lived 1,000 years before any of these words were provocative at all.
This is the most like homeschool mentality I've ever seen. Like, guys, I know I swore, but listen, it's okay. I think Jesus would have been cool with it. I just think the argument of like Jesus would have been cool with it is a dumb one. Of course he would be. Like, Jesus was all about grace and love and compassion and forgiveness. But like, Jesus would have been cool with it isn't an argument for your audience to say, you guys should like my videos. Like, Jesus isn't going to send you to hell because you cheated on your wife, for example. But that's not a very nice thing to do. It's just a bottom of the barrel sort of thing. And if you go to your audience and say, look, audience, you shouldn't have a problem with what I say and what I do. The fact of the matter is they do have a problem with it. Let's continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Actually, I did. That's what I kind of do on this show.
In older societies, people didn't have the privacy we had today, so they had a much better sense of humor about their bodies. I don't want to belittle anyone's feelings, so I've prepared a little history lesson for us on the origins of swearing and why you're racist if you choose not to swear.
Guys, seriously, I've done the research. It's okay to swear. Either do it or don't do it. Making a whole video about like, well, guys, it's fine. If Bambi swears, then you're like, well, okay, well, dear Disney, I thought this was a kid's show. Obviously, it's not. Can you not do that anymore? I'm assuming he's gonna talk about how swearing is just a cultural thing. Words just stuck together, like these consonants and vowels, then they mean this thing. All language is that. We know that. We're not dumb. You could say like, well, clothes, they're just a lie, okay? And I wanna be myself and be who I am, be the real me. F these clothes. I'm gonna just show everybody who the real me is. We wear clothes because it's culturally acceptable. It's not because it's evil not to wear clothes, though some people might say that it is. Those people, I guess, just take showers in their bathing suits or something. I don't know. I guess who knows what they do? There's certain things that are appropriate and inappropriate in certain situations. When I'm at my house, I run around without clothes on. But when I turn on the camera, I put a shirt on may not be wearing pants. You don't know that. Of course, I could turn on the camera and not have a shirt on. People who watch me may say, well, that's not really what I came here for. I'm not here to see Kevin with his shirt off. There's a million other people I could watch, so I'm gonna go do that. I'm not here to justify or tell you, look, you should like me for who I am and not who you want me to be. If you can't have me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. It's a misunderstanding of what it means to be an entertainer, somebody who's making content for other people, because you're making it for them. Having said that, it seems like people don't care. If you cuss and people are cool with it and your fans are cool with it, then great. That's who you are. You do that. I don't know. To me, it doesn't make it better. It just makes it another channel.
History books are littered with people of prominence named fucker, cunt, bastard, and even turd. But it was appropriate for children to use these words in public and in the classroom, and they did. The children spoke this way, and it was not considered taboo.
Right, like you're making the argument, hey, this is just a cultural thing, but that's the reason why we don't do it. If you want to appeal to a certain audience, appeal to that audience. If you don't want to appeal to that audience, which it kind of sounds like maybe you're not interested in anymore, then don't appeal to them. But I don't feel like you need to do a whole video justifying why or why not you cuss or you don't cuss. Like when I make jokes or vulgar jokes or whatever, it's because I think they're funny. I think this is funny. Here you go. I've had parents write to me and say, hey, my kids watch your videos. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you're right. I probably went a little too far. But other times I'm like, you know what? I can't help everybody. You know, someone who writes in and says,
You quoted a Bible verse, but it wasn't the King James version, so I can't watch you anymore.
go watch something else. You know, you just have to weigh your options. To talk down to your audience to say, hey, all of you people who don't like what I'm doing have to like what I'm doing, and here's the historical records to prove that I'm right and you're wrong, I feel like is a bad approach to your audience. But that's just me. What do I know? I don't have nearly the subscribers you do.
And even religious texts, including the Bible, contain clearly comedic uses of the words turd and shat. These words were censored in the English translation.
In modern day, if you use the word poop or shit or crap, they all three mean exactly the same thing. How do you know what the cultural, impact? Like if I say mierda, I'm not like, oh gosh, because it doesn't mean anything to me, but all my Spanish viewers are like, oh mierda, he just said a bad word. So how do you know? I don't know. It just seems a little bit like you're grasping at straws here to try to justify why you wanted to use a curse word.
Now, it was this former language, the West Germanic language, where most of our favorite four-letter words come from, like words like fuck and shit, all the fun ones. You can thank the Germans for those. But the French nobles fancied themselves superior to the German peasants, and so they deemed it inappropriate to speak these words. They were above that. Let's be honest. They were much better people. Now, this is the earliest example we have of a society deeming an entire set of words as crass and vulgar.
I haven't done the research on this, so maybe you're absolutely right and maybe you're absolutely wrong. Everything that you're saying is just proving my point. I think that everybody can, deep down in their heart, know that there's nothing inherently evil about any words. But there are socially acceptable and unacceptable words that you can use. You want to go up to your grandma and say, F you, grandma. You can do that, but then you have to, deal with the ramifications. Grandmifications. That's all that anybody's saying. Like, excuse me, Julian, I watched you for this specific reason. You're not doing that sort of thing anymore. And that's fine. You have the right to do what you want, but you don't have the right to demand that people like it. So Julian goes on for a long time. If you want to go watch this video, you can. He's talking about how, the French and the noblemen talked one way and the Germans and the peasants talked another way. And apparently this is the first time that that's ever happened.
So there you have it, folks. Expletives weren't taboo until a bunch of people decided they were better than everybody else. You heard it from me. If you don't swear, that makes you a racist.
Why is it race? Because it was Germans and French, but there was upper class and lower class. That happens today. People like you clearly are talking like you're lower class, and people like your parents probably talk like they're upper class.
There's gotta be a brilliant hashtag in here, some kind of way to stop racism.
Houston, can we please note that Julian Smith has not only compared himself to Jesus, but also now is calling his own pre-planned, but clearly attempting to seem spontaneous hashtag as brilliant.
With using obscenities like help fuck racism. Help fuck racism. Hashtag help fuck racism.
But here's the weird thing. You're saying that based on a cultural context that doesn't exist anymore. Let's stop this racism of the French against the Germans because the French don't want to use the vulgar German vernacular. But if we already stopped it, they don't do that anymore. You won. Your hashtag worked. Good job, Julian.
On a serious note, please stop using the comments section to harass each other.
I don't know. I'm really blessed with really nice comments, and maybe that's because I have such a small channel, but everybody's really chill in my comment section, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm thankful for that, which are two words that mean the same thing. That's called synonym.
But you guys are spreading hate. Don't spread
Yeah,
hate.
but aren't you inciting hate? Like, if that's what you want to say. I can say, look, you're not supposed to say dirty words. And then you can come and say, that's spreading hate. That's what hateful people do. But you said the dirty word. Under your logic, you're saying that somebody saying some words causes other people to act a certain way or feel a certain way, so then you shouldn't do that. You saying anything can cause other people to feel some sort of way. I don't agree. Like, I think people can say what they want, and I think people do say what they want in our comment sections. I don't know. I've said enough. Julian, I think you're doing a great job. I'm just saying that it looks kind of funny. I'm just trying to get views. I'm just trying to get views off of Julian Smith because he has such a large following and I'm jealous. All right? That's the facts. But in reality, guys, thanks so much for watching my show. Thank you for keeping my comments civil. If I ever get to a point where I seem out of touch with the people who are watching me, I'm not connecting in a way that is genuine and real, just let me know and give me a good shake and say, hey, Kevin, chill out, okay? It's just a YouTube show. And I think Julian's just figuring out a little bit what it means to connect with his audience because it's a totally different type of show that he's doing now. And what he did before was so much of like a production. He was producing content and making stuff that took a long time to make. And I'm sure that that's frustrating and overwhelming. And he's a talented person, far more talented than I could ever imagine being. And I look forward to the stuff that he comes out with in the future. But I also think that he's using YouTube for what it is today. And so I think that's great. But you don't have to justify why you're saying a swear word. Just recognize that some of your audience won't stick around if you change your format in any sort of way, you know, and that's a big one. That's a big one in our culture today. So that's my advice to you, Julian. That's all this has ever been is my thoughts and advice towards you. It's not any sort of hate. I'm not spreading hate towards you. All right, good luck, everybody, and good night. I made this for views, whether you like it or not. But seriously, I need you to like it! Hey, look, Captain Planet shirt.